right. Hi guys. Hi guys. Come back to another episode of the Perceive As You Are. Today we have a new guest, a very special guest. Is my lovely cousin Nolwazi. She will be joining us for today's episode. Her episode is about how the concept of healing is kind of fucked up. You know what? In some ways, I agree, but we're going to be getting deeper into it in this episode. So, my starting question is, when I asked you about the episode, why this topic specifically? What in that moment made you think about, yeah, this is what I want to talk about?
I think I was like kind of going through like something, like I was healing at the point, like at that time. I was healing from like a breakup. You know who it was, remember? You know who it was. I'm not gonna get into the specifics of the person, but you don't know
The
who it
situation.
was. And yeah, like I felt like I needed to heal from that experience and also other things in life, but mainly that thing. And I just wanted to like, when I was googling through like how to heal and all these things like that, I felt like there's a copy and paste, and some of the things I just personally didn't agree upon, and I kind of wanted to get into that and like express myself.
No, I definitely get that. I definitely get that. What didn't you agree upon? I would like hearing when people talk about healing. What methods of healing didn't you agree upon? But before I'm gonna forget to this, before we get into that stuff, let's just introduce the people that don't know you because we know you. So just tell us a little bit about yourself.
Hi guys, I'm Nolwazi, as Lily said. I'm their cousin. I've known them for like, I don't know, as long as I can remember. Like they've always been like the cousins that are there. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, I like to have deep conversations, deep, meaningful conversations, and I like to open myself up to different perspectives of thinking, and yeah, I like to learn from other people and kind of also change my own mindset and make myself grow by like talking to other people and stuff like that.
Yeah, no, I do get that. I do agree with me knowing you and all. I do know that you're very expressive, very out there, getting to know what you don't know, knowing, trying to get into people's heads and all of that. I feel like that's where we relate, or when it comes to concept of conversationals. But yeah, as you're saying, let's continue with what you were saying here. What do you disagree on? Yeah, what were the healing methods of healing? Or what are the methods of healing that you disagreed on?
Like first one that I kind of disagree is like, in order to like heal in is like you have to forgive somebody.
Yeah.
That's one I have a problem with. That's very problematic, because what if someone literally burned down your house or whatever? Like they did something that really crossed the line. Am I supposed to forgive that? And then if you choose not to forgive a person, then you seem bitter. And I don't like that concept or that narrative of, oh, you're bitter if you don't want to forgive somebody and all these things like that, because I have certain people that I haven't forgiven for some of the things that they have done, and I feel like it's going to take me time. And people like in the healing community make it seem like, oh, you need to forgive them immediately.
Yeah, or you can't move on.
Let go. You need to let go in order to heal properly, and I feel like that's not okay. That's not okay, because that's a very, and it's the same people who say don't let things slide. That's the same. It's a very much a contradiction to itself. Like I feel though.
No, I do get that, because I feel like it's important to forgive maybe the action, the event, move on and process that. But I don't think necessarily the person or the person like that. Because now I think forgiving too easily does exist. I mean, you crossed me once, I shouldn't let you cross me again. I feel once that boundary has been walked over, you shouldn't let them do it again. You should, okay, maybe move on for your own sake of healing, to like move on from the event itself, like the actions that they caused, and not the person who caused them. And no, that I do understand. Nah, the forgiving easily, man. I've always been on the half and half side of that, man. Because personally for me, when you're forgiving someone, man, they don't need jack. When I forgive someone, I can be bitter towards them. Yeah, it's just in my heart, I've let it go, you know? Because it's like a thing of forgive but don't forget. Yeah. It's a thing of like that saying, forgive but don't forget. It's true. You can forgive someone for doing something to you, but it doesn't mean that just because you've forgiven them, they mustn't be held accountable for what they've done. Because that's a narrative also I realize now. That's a narrative that because you've been forgiven, it's like people think it's swept under the rug. No, we just chill.
Swept under the rug.
We chill, but we still gotta talk.
Yeah, and I feel like with that whole thing, I feel like people forgive half-heartedly. Like what I mean by half-heartedly is that, like, let's say you're in an argument and then they bring it up. I don't like that. When you say you've forgiven somebody, you mean you won't bring it up
Peace is
ever
a
again.
problem. For temporary peace, like just like, all right, I'm gonna move from this because I don't want to deal with it right now. And in your subconscious, in your soul, you know you're still pressed, and you're gonna treat the person as if you're pressed, even though quote unquote, when now you've moved on from it. And I think why in the community and in the spaces when you go on and search, like it's important to go now heal that person, forgive that person, because having like maybe resentment or whatever towards the person can carry some sort of a weight. I mean, when you don't like somebody, like fuck this nigga. Actually, fuck you. Weight on your chest.
Guys, like, have you ever looked at someone and then your whole day is ruined? That's
Yes. Yes.
I think that once you've forgiven that person, all of that will go away. Forgiving does not mean processing, number one. You know what I mean? You haven't just that. I feel like it depends. Some people
depends on what
forgive.
type of
Yeah, if I'm saying for temporary calmness, like okay, I'm gonna move with it just because I don't wanna have a problem. But then when you're mad, you're gonna have a problem because you didn't move on from it.
And that's not fair.
And I also don't like that what you're saying, bringing up in arguments because you haven't moved past it, and now I have, and now it's a problem. It's not fair.
It's not fair because in the sense of you communicate and you're lying to that person, you're basically lying. This person has moved on with their life.
Yes.
Old stuff. The thing is, if you have a problem with someone and you can't forgive them, say, I'm daughter, I can't process this right now.
Cut them off.
Like say, okay, dude, right now I'm not feeling good. I can't talk to you. I'm heightened emotions. Let's pause, you know? Because guys, forgiving someone temporary, it sits on your chest. Especially when they start moving as if nothing's wrong.
Yeah,
because on the end of
when you be like, okay, no, it's fine. You say to them it's fine, but you know that you're not okay. Then they move as if it's fine. Like, why are you moving like that? You know you did me dirty.
Yeah, you did me dirty. Oh, guys, I wanted to ask, what is your guys' definition of forgiving or like healing, like as a whole? What is your guys' personal definitions?
I've been asked that question in a hot minute. The last time I asked that question, guys, I gave some holy answer, like on some healing is on. Right now, my definition of healing is so unstable because of the rise. And I'm that type of person that gets very influenced by the people around me. And it's something that I'm learning to stop, right? Because again, things from different perspectives, but then forgetting your own, very easy to go down.
Yeah.
Because of that, lately, this whole thing of healing, you've got people saying, nah, healing is isolation, healing is together. Guys, healing is just learning to personally, that's my definition of healing.
You said your question was
the definition of healing and forgiveness.
Forgiveness or healing or both?
Both.
Like either or, like because they're very close to each other.
I feel like me forgiving, like me truly moving on, and most of the time I forgive for the other person. I know that sounds weird, ne? Like but let me explain it. Because with me, I know I can be better. I know I can be real bitter. I know I can be real petty. And it really doesn't take a lot of energy out of me. I mean, it can run me. I'll wake up and wish you pain. You know what I mean? So I forgive because I know I will carry it on, and I may carry it on too much to the point where it's really not worth it. You understand? Like it used to. I'm saying used to because I've moved as a person. I'm growing. I'm healing and all that. A person would pinch me, and I want to cut off your fucking hand for even attempting to that. Because why would you pinch me? I'm gonna cut your fingers off.
No, because like these days I take things very personally. Like these days I take things very personally because why would you do that? Yeah.
Exactly. And since I know myself, and I know if I don't like separate myself from it and move past it, I will continue. You know, and it has nothing to do with the other person. Whether you've moved on from it or not doesn't matter to me because I'm not done with it. That type of vibe. So I feel once I've completely like I'm done. I don't feel any emotion. I don't feel any growth. I don't feel any in me. Then I feel like then I fully moved on and quote unquote forgiven. But I'll forgive. I will not forget. That's trust me once. Probably not going to be able to do it again. So yeah.
What's your definition? You've asked the question. It's a good question.
It's a good question. You know, it's just taking our job as interviewers. But yeah, what's your answer?
Yeah. I like what Lulu said, like forgiving is finally letting go of that person or like whatever they've done. But most of the time when I forgive, I cut a person off. Like it comes in hand with cutting off because sometimes I feel like in order for me to forgive that person, they need to be out of my life. And it may seem kind of confusing at first, but like
I understand.
yeah, in order for me to forgive you is that you can't be around me. I don't know how that makes sense, but sometimes certain boundaries, if a certain boundary has been crossed a number of times, because I don't get to that point of no forgiveness easy.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Like it builds and builds and builds and builds and builds until so many boundaries have been crossed and turn until a point of like, no, I can't. And the only way I can forgive you is for me to cut you off. So like you said, letting go, either like even letting go like in terms of cutting a person off, I think that can also be forgiveness, right?
Mhm.
Or just letting go completely, like you guys have sorted the beef out, you know? Because I've had it like right recently, I've had I've cut a person off for because they were talking shit about me and all these things like that. That's another thing that I need to get into someday, like with you guys off the camera.
Definitely.
But like I forgive them for what they did, but I don't speak to them. I'm not on speaking terms with that person anymore. So yeah, that's basically my definition of
Understandable.
Yeah.
Because the other day, my mom had said something because I had come to her with an issue where I was having a trouble discerning a person's actions versus the person. But I'm like, nah, guys, I treat a person or I perceive a person how they treat me. I can't perceive a person elsewise. I can't say the person is gonna be better when they've just shown me shit. So it's completely understandable. I completely understand because people change, ne? Right? I like people change.
With that, I feel like as you were saying, forgiving a person that it doesn't mean that you need to let them back in.
Yeah.
Some people really think just because I forgive you means you need to be my friend again. No.
You're not my friend. We're not your. I'm not your friend.
Like some people, ne? And for me personally, it's a very slim amount of people that deserve second chances.
Yeah.
In my life.
As you were saying, when you're saying it takes like a build up to get to that
It
point.
builds up. It doesn't just
having
automatically cut off.
Yeah, I feel like if it gets to a point of me having an actual problem, because with me personally, I feel like I communicate when I start to feel like you're getting to that, and okay, please don't do that, please don't do that. I see, but if you continue, I cross that line, man.
On that note, man,
That's the goal.
on that note, you see how easy it is to that line with friends and people outside. Am I the only one who's
Not the same with relationship with y'all.
It's not the same with y'all, and it's not the same with family. Because how much BS
Do you let slide?
You
with
let
your
slide
family
with your
versus with your friends.
Yo, I let a lot of things slide.
like
I let a lot of things slide.
especially black households? Because in black households, it's guys, we get the issue happens, and then a lot of the time it's not spoken about. It's moved.
It gets swept under the rug.
It is
Gets swept, especially in our family.
and
Especially.
you don't get to say anything. It's like, oh, it just happened.
Move on.
You know?
So how do you deal with respecting your boundaries when it comes to families?
Sure. I feel like you need to come with it in a respectful manner, especially speaking to elders. Like, be like, oh, like you've crossed a certain boundary. Like, I don't like what you did. This is why I don't like it. This is what happens. Like, I feel like you need to tell them, but like in a respectful manner. But like in a friend, I don't think I'd be as respectful as a family member, especially if it's an elder, right? But personally, I feel like you should address it. You should address it and be like, yeah, but not in a disrespectful manner. You should be like, yeah, you disrespect me, XYZ. I don't know. That's how I would do it. May not be right, but that's how I would do it. Yeah.
Guys, personal experience, name. At you know how you can add your friends and stuff. My personal experience with adding an adult, especially when you're the kid, right? It's always been a struggle because adults already have that presumption that you're just making assumptions. You're just making
Yes, that.
problems.
That.
we have a reason for coming up. They don't think it has grounds. I feel it's, oh, you're just being dramatic, or this is it. It's most of the time like you're not heard, or it's you being disrespectful. For me, most of
Yes.
the time when I'm trying to communicate into to an elder like properly, I'm coming to you respectful, because as you were saying, you're my elder, you're my family. I can't approach you the same way I'm going to approach a friend, right? But then you're gonna come and do you wrong, dog.
Not just do you wrong. It's also that a lot of the time with family, aunts, uncles, grandmas, whatever, they have their own assumptions of you and how you work. So they tend to think of for you and think for your reaction.
That's not how you feel.
Guys, like you come and tell a family member, you did so and so and so and so and so, and they're like, askis, and it's like, that askis.
No, it's not even. It's sorry, I did
This
that.
too shall pass. That's what they say. This too shall pass.
Dude, oh no, sorry that you felt like that. It's really not taking any responsibility. Like it's on you.
Like, and on the terms of healing from that, because guys, realistically, when a person doesn't want to be at it, you can't at them. When a person doesn't want to see that they're wrong, how must you move?
You can't argue with a person that doesn't want to listen.
Yeah.
That's what I've learned. You cannot argue with the person who does not want to listen. Like,
yeah,
it's like talking to a brick wall.
I don't know
yes.
vocabulary still.
Yeah, it's like talking to a brick wall. And then having to forgive a brick wall for throwing bricks at you. Guys, that's a process. I'm not
for me, yeah, I do get what you mean. For you're blaming the wall for being the wall type of.
Yeah, like it's like a thing.
But guys, but wait.
Mm-hmm.
Don't you think it's toxic, like when a person is like, oh, they're acting like that just because, oh, you know how that person is. Like, let's say, you know how whoever is, oh, you know how thingy is, oh, you know how
normalizing such behavior.
I mean, you know how let's say I have a problem with Zile, and then I come to Lulu, and then Lulu is like, oh, you know how Zile is, you know how she is, so it's fine, you can like just leave it, like nice.
Do you know what? It goes hand in hand personally for me with that whole thing of being swept under the rug. In order for you, like, the person needs to be able to be like, okay, I'm sorry that I did that to you, right? The person you're having the issue with. And then you know how it is, It also is people who've tried to bring it, and then the person just doesn't want. Because have you never tried and brought up something to someone multiple times, and then someone just doesn't want?
Yeah.
So it does. That's
listen.
Point. Your problem with them rests in your heart, because how is it supposed to move elsewise when it doesn't want to be discussed? On that,
it's hard dealing with a problem that everybody says is not a problem.
Exactly. Like on that note.
But like, and it drives you crazy. I feel like it makes you feel freaking fucking crazy. Like, am I the only one seeing this? Guys, am I the only one feeling this right now?
On that note, is that not a form of gaslighting?
That is.
Is that not a form?
It is someone telling you that you're crazy.
It is. And then on the topic of how healing fucked up is, how
the concept of healing
of healing is fucked up. Guys, you have to heal from people who didn't say sorry. You have to heal things from people who didn't apologize.
Guys, I know.
Do you know, guys,
it's hard. It's really hard. They don't even, oh my gosh, I'm even stuttering. They don't even want to admit that they cut me and I still have to heal this wound. Like, no.
Yes. And then with that forgiveness thing, you have to forgive somebody like that. How? How do you forgive somebody who doesn't want to say sorry or admit they're wrong? How? How do you just, oh, I forgive them? That's another, it's just toxic, like you said. Yeah. It's just a toxic cycle.
It's a toxic cycle, like forgiveness, toxic positivity. I feel like toxic positivity. Because, guys, a lot of what's wrong in forgiveness isn't forgiveness itself, but the toxic positivity aspect of it. Some things are unforgivable, honestly. There are some things
Some
that
things aren't.
Guys, bring the light. For there to be light, there needs to be healed, or need to. Sometimes it was a problem. It's staying a problem. You don't have to have that problem again. You don't have to fix it and make it bright.
Again, as Lulu was saying, like healing is letting go of it. Sometimes it's
Mhm.
letting go that you always have this answer or this non-apology.
You know what? When we went back to like when you're trying to argue to a person, like when you're still having an argument and the person has
Mhm.
on, it's so hard healing that because like why do you have such a problem and the person has moved? It makes it feel dramatic in a way, like you're overestimating the problem or over exaggerating the problem.
Um,
Guys, it makes it feel worse. Like, have you ever thought you were over-exaggerating it? Then you go to someone you trust,
And they were like, no, you're not crazy.
and they're like, no, you're like not crazy. And then you go to this person, and
They're like, you're crazy. You're crazy.
It's a mind fuck.
the flip-flop, like I have some things that I know that I'll never get an apology for because there are some things that when I get butthurt about, like Mina, there's some things I got butthurt about, but the person who did them or said those things, they didn't care, they don't regret anything, so they're not gonna apologize.
I feel like some people don't think it's a problem because some people think you're not hurt because they didn't have the intention to hurt you. You know what I mean? Like parents, adult figures that will say shit to you. The day that I get angry for this cussing, but you know what? They will say shit to you, and then their intention was not to hurt you. But when you're hurt, you're like, all right, no, I'm hurt. This hurt me, but like, oh no, that's not what I meant to do. Like you're taking it wrong. Sorry, like it doesn't change the fact that I'm hurt.
Yeah, like instead of going, why are you hurt? How did it hurt? How can I move? I'm sorry that what I said hurt you. They're like, guys, I don't regret what I've said. You're hurt.
It's basically saying the problem is you, not me.
Like,
Yeah.
and not only that, this is something entirely different from the conversation, but I feel like it plays a matter. In terms of parents and children, one thing I've realized is that emotional health is not really a thing in teachings or when you're teaching your kid. Or I haven't teaching your kid how to process being hurt, teaching your kid how to process being.
I feel like it's just like you're
those
gonna
things.
get hurt in life. People, they tell you you're gonna get hurt in life. They just don't tell you how to heal that.
Yeah, they don't tell you how to process. They just tell you that you're gonna get hurt. But then when you get hurt and you come to them, they're like, move on. You're like, how can I move on when this is the biggest hurt I felt in my life? Like when like I saw an analogy. When a child falls, scrapes their knees, they're gonna scream because for the first time in their life, this is the biggest pain they felt.
Right? But to everybody else, it's just a scrape to the knee.
But to everyone else, it's a scrape in the knee. And I feel like it's the same in the emotion, in being hurt with something someone said. If you're hurt, you have every right to be hurt still.
Yeah.
You have
True.
Like
I've been on the flip side of it. Like I've been I'm not gonna lie. I've been at a point been on the flip side of it and been like, oh, like what you like, why are you so praised? It's not even that deep. Like I have been that person, like that person is like when a person comes in an issue to me and I'm like, oh, it's not even that deep. Why are you so mad? I've done that to another person and I do regret it. I am sorry to that person. Yeah, but I feel like when I was in that mind space, I just didn't care. Like I didn't care to understand how that person felt and how they were feeling. And I feel like that's how they when you come to a person who's done you dirty and they can't see what they've done, that's how they're thinking.
That's quite an interesting aspect because guys, it's interesting to hear a thing. Like it's pretty brave of you to say that you've done it and admit that you were wrong.
Yeah, it is. I feel like I've done it. That's why I've done it to somebody and then I've had it done to me. And I was like, yo, when it was done to me, I was like, yo, okay, damn. You know what I mean? It made me kind of realize, it made me have more of an understanding of how your words can impact other people, that you're really not living in their shoes. But dude, I mean, I feel like it's important to try to think about how your words are going to affect other people, but at the same time,
on that note, man, we started the episode with the question, or I started the question with, what aspects of healing didn't you agree with? I have now, like, what aspects of healings did you agree with?
Wait, but did you finish up with the things that you didn't? Because I thought it was just one.
Yeah, I did.
Nah, there was just one big one that is a huge part of healing.
Mm.
Yeah, like what we've been talking about, letting go in the way we put it has been a very positive point of healing. And certain things such as like taking a bath, taking care of yourself is healing. Like maybe having a nice bath, reading a book, listening to music.
It's healing.
That's healing.
Guys, music is a healing property. Music
It's
is a
so healing. Like it's healing. Like those types of things. Like just genuinely taking care of your mental health is healing, and eliminating those things that drain your mental health, that's healing.
I agree, guys. But then, as well, when we're talking about healing culture on social media, and you said the concept of it, right? But then, with me, when it comes to mental health healing and healing in general, it's always external. As you were saying, it is a very important part, but I always feel like it's missing that you still need to heal inside. It's taking a bath, is taking that time to relax, but there's also hard work to healing. Now, the work that is not really talked about, having to ask yourselves those difficult questions.
Yeah, guys.
Having conversations with yourself. Wow.
It's very hard. I mean, like, yeah,
being honest with yourself, like bluntly.
like you honestly have to buy. It's not it. You told me this and this. This is what's going to happen. This is what you need to do. It's so easy to go and do that to another person. But when it's you sitting alone in your room and you're trying to think, that it's much harder because you are the one that has to do that. You're the one that didn't cause the change. You're the one who didn't see it. And now going back and expressing it, it's having to let go of ego. It's having to settle into forgiving yourself as well as recognizing, putting your ego aside and recognizing that, okay, I did wrong. And okay, I did do right. Because I feel like you can also settle into, I fucked up a lot.
Yeah, that negative
mindset.
You can settle into fucked up.
I'm a very prideful person. Like, I am a very prideful person. So it's very hard for me. What I have to do is like take aside my own ego and like learn how to say, guys, I'm sorry, I messed up. Like sometimes you generally make mistakes. Like we as humans aren't perfect. Like
I tend to lean on the other side, like, no, I had a plan. I mean, I feel I have enough confidence. I don't know if it's self-confidence. I believe in myself so much that it's hard, as you're saying, ego and pride. It's hard for me to go and say, shit, I fucked up.
Yes.
Myself. I can't, because it's me. How could I do that, man? Damn,
yes, how can I do that?
I love how the two of you, I'm the one that I don't think I have a lot of ego. A lot of people say I have ego because of the way I swagger, because of my quote unquote nonchalant energy. When I'm one of the most emotional people you will meet.
I'm nonchalant. Then another thing you need to talk about, nonchalant culture. Wow. Nonchalant.
It's toxic. It's not a good thing. It is.
It's not caring. Wow, we need to get into that one day.
I said it before, not dealing with your problems does not make them go away. I mean,
exactly. And guys, personal experience. I can be a brand ambassador for that person who ignores their problems a lot.
No, but guys, it's actually hard to give a shit. Me, I wouldn't say, oh, I'm a nonchalant person. I do care. I wouldn't say it's a nonchalant, but when it comes to caring and being serious about things, for me recently, it's just been so hard. I mean, I stress about needing to stress. I feel like I need to stress, and that's what I'm stressing about.
It is hard to care.
I'm not stressed. I feel like it's peer pressure that you should be worried, but in reality, I'm not, and I feel like I'm crazy for not being worried.
Guys, that is a whole nother topic in itself that we will get into, Shane. Actually, yeah, we will get into. But on the thing of ego and putting aside, I have always had the issue of taking people's blame. That has always been my issue. I can put my ego aside quite easily and be like, okay, I fucked up. But then I have the habit of taking someone else's fuck up and taking it as my own. That
yes.
I have. And guys, that habit will drown you. For people who are
That
watching,
will drown you.
that
That
has
will drown.
to drown.
And like you said, that is another trait of gaslighting, when people make their problems yours. Their problems yours. That's yeah.
No, honestly, because that is thinking about that's a whole conversation in its own. People be blaming you for their shit. I mean, how am I involved, man?
Hey guys, and like, yeah, guys, there's a
You know
whole
those people that are like, you're the reason why my mental health is like so bad and all those things like that. I hate people like that who put their problems onto you.
dude.
You didn't. I mean,
My ex was like that. My ex had a similar vibe to that, ne? In the sense of, in the previous conversation with Dre on the live. I don't know if you know Dre. But there was a conversation we had, and it was like you feel now, so you feel like you're responsible for this person's emotions and everything. Because whenever there's an emotion, whenever there's a problem, you're the one who they look to. And if you do something wrong, you're the one they blame.
And with those types of people, they think that you owe them something. You don't owe. No one owes you anything.
guys,
No
dude,
one owes you.
it's sincerely a choice. I mean, it's a choice. When you take, and I'm like, when helping people out, people tend to like be entitled to it, be entitled to
Yes.
type of thing. Because, dude, I'm here, I'm taking time out of my day to come and speak to you. And then you're going to be on some, no, just because you didn't speak to me, I'm having suicidal thoughts. You can't do that. That is not fair, number one. I mean,
And on that spectrum, guys, we're talking about the people who take, me. But the givers also have red flags. As a previous giver slash giver in recovery, there are some toxic traits that people who go and they want to help tend to have, like hero mentality. Hero mentality is easier to slip in than one would think. Like when a person is going through something, and I don't mean this in the way of toxicity, but when a person is going through something and you know that you can help them, you know that you have the resources and everything to help them, there's a sense of rush that you get from helping.
Adrenaline, yeah.
A sense of an adrenaline. And then one of our previous episodes, we had mentioned this. One of the first episodes, you know, that whole thing of having someone dependent on you is nice, guys. It can be nice.
It is nice. It low-key. It goes back to the ego thing. It makes your ego feel good. It makes you feel good.
It makes you feel better. Like this person has put themselves in me.
It's not necessarily toxic because
it can be toxic.
It can be toxic.
If I'm being honest, Nick,
everything can be toxic.
Yes, if I'm being honest, I don't know if it's gonna make me a bad person, but I've been in a situation where I saw somebody is like dependent on me, right? And I didn't like push them away, knowing that they need to stand on their own 2 feet. Because okay, yeah, I got you, but I don't want anybody else to get you because I have you because I got you.
I understand.
That's with that also the flop with that is that it can open a lot for manipulators.
It does.
Like for manipulation and stuff like that. Because they know that person needs you and you can manipulate them to do stuff for you.
Why don't you trust me? Why don't you talk to me? Don't go talk to other people. It can be really weird. It can be really weird. I'm not saying that it was me doing that. I'm saying me being honest. No. But I saw myself like I've entering those chats.
I understand that. I've entered those chats slightly. The thing is, guys, I'm getting really open.
At least we're honest, dog. At least we're honest.
The thing is with my personality type is when I was in that space of someone being dependent on me, it was never something I would throw into someone's face because I know how people's egos work. Sometimes an ego is shown that there's control, an ego fights back.
Yeah.
Right? Just like when a dog is growling and when you want to be big dog, sometimes they won't want because why are you being big dog? Come from a left angle. With some people you've got to batter them up, né?
Yeah.
Right. This is a tip, actually. Let me say this is a tip. If you feel like you're in a relationship, in a situationship where you might be manipulated, this is a method. I'm gonna say quote unquote method that I used when I was in that space.
Okay.
The sense of they can go out, but you're the one they always come back to.
Yes. Yes,
That sense of they can have all the friends, they can hang out, but you know that you know that you are that person they will always come back to.
Being a constant, guys.
Don't forget I'm home. Don't forget I'm home. You can go whoever, but I'm home.
And they go climbing with mountains.
Being a rock, and they go climbing with mountains. It's a thing of, it's a patience game as well, right? Because I don't have energy to always be someone's rock. Go be a mountain, go climb other rocks. But I always know that you'll be my rock.
Yeah.
My rock is the one that's stable. Because like guys, this is very toxic. And it wasn't intentionally toxic. Let me just put it out there. It wasn't intentionally toxic. Right? You know, it wasn't intentionally toxic because even in that whole dynamic, right? I was never a total shitty friend. I wouldn't say I was. My personal opinion. I was never a shitty friend. I never abused that power, but I just would That's what I'm saying, guys. These people out there that are not like me, that won't not abuse it. I've been in the situation where I know I'm in the dynamic and I know I'm the person is my quote unquote rock. And I
saying it does leave room for a lot of manipulation.
It does leave room for manipulation. And it's like so subtle manipulation, you know. It's like when you go
I feel like if you're goey and you wanna go to your friend being goey, you're so distracted by your goiness. You don't even you're not worried about other things. I don't think you're
Wait. You guys know those friends that get upset when you have other friends?
I was gonna say that.
Yeah, those friends that have like a problem with you being other friends. They're like, oh, why are you with your other friends? Like, you're not with me anymore. Like those types of friends, their textbook definition of those. Like, let's say you have a best friend and then you're like, oh, I want to go chill with my other friends. They're like, oh, so you don't need me anymore. Oh, so you don't need me. Like, you acting like, what's going on? Like, you don't want me. Like, you don't want to be friends anymore. Those friends, manipulation.
Have you? You speak like you speak like from experience. Have you been in that dynamic?
I have been in those dynamics. Like, I've been like the person who's been like, I've been on the giving and the receiving end of that. Like, I've been like, I'm not gonna lie, I was in like, oh, it's like, why are you hanging out with other people? Why don't you want to hang out with me anymore? And I've also been on the side of, oh, why don't you hang out with me? You know, like, I've been on both ends. So yeah.
I mean, this thing on both ends is interesting.
Yeah, like those times that I was like really toxic and those types of things, but I've tried to grow from those experiences.
I do agree with that. You know, guys,
the first step of growing from the toxic experience is admitting that it was toxic. Let's give a round of applause for honesty. Honesty in the chat. No, guys, because people talk about toxic that. It's not easy.
Guys, the sun is giving. Yeah.
No, it's not easy.
Thanks, love.
Like you were saying, self-awareness. No,
it's very necessary.
It's necessary, but it's not easy. Like,
it's not easy.
It's not easy, but it's necessary. It's having to be the quote unquote bigger person. Yeah, I was a bitch. It's not easy.
I mean, sometimes you gotta say F being the bigger person.
I feel like it depends. That's if you've got a shit to give, man. I've been in situations where I have a shit to give, and now like, okay, now I have to be like responsible since I want like to change and I want that friendship and stuff. Versus, no, guys, I'm honest, I would not care. I mean, I hurt you, too bad. On to the next.
Too sad.
It's really not my problem. It really was not my problem.
It's not my problem. Like,
but I've changed. I'm changed. Don't at me like I'm a better person. I'm a better person.
No, but guys, those aspects of life, those things, they come in handy in life, guys. Being wholesome all the time won't let you survive in this life. You can't be wholesome all the time.
No, people will chew you and eat you up. People will chew you and eat you up if you're nice all the time.
We do not live in a society where being nice and being an all good person thrives. It doesn't.
Can you be honest, guys? Nice people get walked all over.
But it's not necessarily they get walked
over. Let's be honest.
It's not necessarily they get walked over. They get trampled. No, listen, they are walking to come running at them. Then they get trampled. A nice person, even a nice person with boundaries can get trampled. A nice person with boundaries can't get walked over. Maybe a nice, naive person can get walked over. But if you've got boundaries, guys, you get trampled. People don't respect nice people. People don't respect when you give. I feel like when you give, they get so used to that. And this, I feel like this in society nowadays is not really common. A give and take type of situation. It's either you're a taker, you're not both. I don't know why, but it was one of the topics that I want to bring up, like in a big scale, on the loss of community. The loss of it is. I mean, like when you're not giving and taking, just the loss of people. When you talk about it wanting to be a conversation, greeting is no longer a thing, which is weirded me out. Weirded me out. Have you ever tried to greet like an auntie in the store and you're like hello and she gives you like an up and down? Never. Guys, I was shocked.
Why beggar so? Like she looks at you snacks. I'm like, so why beggar so? Like
you are taught to have manners to people older than you. When you have manners, they're gonna be disrespectful to you. And nah, it's mad. No,
that's you know what, with people with being a quote unquote nice person, like an quote unquote nice person, when you give that same energy back, you're the bad person.
You're a bad person.
Now you're the bad person.
I mean, people can chew. Oh no, people can dish. They can dish. But then immediately when it's time to chew, they will choke. Which I really don't understand. You know, and the thing about it, I will sit. Me personally, I will sit and I will wait. And I will give you 3 warnings. Verbal, text, whatever it is, until I do exactly what you're gonna do to me. And you can't call me petty, you can't call me a bad person because I done told you. You do it again.
Yes, you can't call me a bad person for giving you the same treatment.
So thank you. I mean, if you're gonna be okay, you're gonna be talking shit. I tell you, please don't do that. Fine. I'm being calm. You talk your shit. Now when I talk my shit, you better keep quiet. Now keep quiet, don't say anything.
Keep quiet.
Yeah, man. Like guys, as Lulu was saying previously earlier on, being the bigger person, y'all. I am not the bigger person. Okay, I should be. Let's not be promoting all this.
It's not necessarily.
Let's not promote pettiness.
No, it's
sometimes.
It's not. Sometimes. I have your back. I said on another interview, I'm like, okay, guys, forgiveness is very important. All of this being open, bright side. But then in this world, you have to have your back. You need to think 3 steps forward. You need to think 3 steps back, 3 steps left, 3 steps right, because they're coming at you all. Like
they're coming in all directions.
So you need to be. It's not necessarily you're being the bad person. Do you know what I feel like? Quote unquote, you being the bad person is in a situation like that. You leaving your bubble to go and interrupt someone else's bubble. But now if someone interrupts your bubble and you retaliate, guys, and then that person, it's like someone you're chilling at home and someone comes and punches you and you punch them back. The person who got up and punched you, guys. In the wrong. Like, I'm not saying, like, in all these things, guys, I'm not promoting toxicity. I'm not promoting
toxicity. Oh, English. Oh, toxicity.
But it's a thing of, guys, as Lulu was saying, in this world, in this day and age, and maybe as we grow, because all of us are still under 18, let's start there. But maybe as we grow, we'll pick up other things. Maybe as we conversate with other adults, we'll pick up new ways, forgiving ways, maybe. But in the day and now, amongst our own peers, there's certain things you've got to do to survive the fight. You do. I'm sorry. And it's the hard truth of it. And it's not a nice truth. Like, especially as a person.
Not a
nice. I'm a nice person, guys. I would give the shirt off my back. But then people don't want to. People make you not want to do that.
The thing is, giving, you can't give from an empty cup.
Thank you. You can't give from an empty cup. And people want to call it selfish, stepping out of situations, stepping out of toxic situations, because I feel like it's being drained of like, oh no, just because I'm not healed, now you're gonna kick me off. Nope. I'm not gonna let you destroy my vibe. I'm doing good.
Just not even if your cup is not empty. Because guys, your cup is empty. Some people have ways they can fill it and still keep giving. But it gets to a point where
don't say it. You were saying
No,
finish?
Yeah.
Finish.
I wanted to say,
Mm-hmm.
how do you guys feel about like walking into people's lives or like trying to get into a relationship with somebody who's still healing, or vice versa, when someone tries to come into your life while you're healing?
Well, I'm dating while healing, so I don't know.
She is in a very healthy relationship.
Summer wow.
No, but listen, in the situation of that, it depends on the people. The actual question itself, like having someone inside while you're healing, it depends on what stage of healing you're on, both of you are on, and what stage of communication levels you're on, right? Because healing is your solo journey, and then a relationship is your solo together. Those are things that are connected, but not the same, right? So it's all about communication, and if you can keep that thing, because if you can't make your relationship
Preach, sister.
work,
Please.
you can't make your relationship work before the healing, it's probably not gonna work during the healing because you're uncovered. But if you've uncovered problems, you've worked on that part of your healing, and you're on another part, I don't understand why the relationship must now affect the other part. Because again, there's certain problems that you will only recognize when they're triggered.
But wait, some people walk into a relationship to heal.
That's the problem.
I mean, people, they
Rebounds.
knowing damn well that they are damaged and they see somebody who is flourishing. I mean, flourishing, like, all right, they're doing good, they can fix me. Then they're gonna go walk up to that person and get into a good relationship with that person, be to the person, destroy. I'm saying I've seen it with my own two eyes, not even two, four, okay? I've seen them walk there and go and destroy somebody and to be on some what happened. I mean, guys, I feel like when you're mixing clear water and your water has some sort of color in it, and you're gonna go and put it in somebody's cup and be shocked. You're shocked. You're shocked.
Yeah.
No, guys.
You're shocked?
No.
You were saying you were recovering from a relationship. How long did that take you?
Ooh, like I think I'm still kind of healing, but like,
Did you step into that relationship healed, or did you find things that you need to heal in that relationship?
I think I was healed, but then now I have certain things that I need to heal, like from myself, because like they triggered things that I didn't know that were like trigger points, you know, like jealousy. Wow, like I never thought I was a jealous person. I genuinely never thought I was a jealous person, right? Like I have never felt jealousy like when I was with a person, right? But with this person, wow. 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 So that's another toxic trait that I'm trying to like take off of myself. Yeah.
Like, but that's the thing. Toxic traits are not toxic because they can take it off. It's just about balance, y'all. Honestly.
I don't think anybody can be perfect.
Yin and yang. Humans are yin and
I
yang.
feel like just having that balance between light and dark, you know.
And then you, Lars, your question. Do you feel like as you're healing, you get into a relationship with another healing person? Cool. Would you get into a relationship with a healed, quote unquote, healed person as you're healing?
No, we both need to be healed because like I can't break another person because it's like I feel like when you are like still broken and you try to get into another relationship, it's like, or you're still trying to fix yourself, it can distract you from fixing yourself. And then now you're going to make your problems other people's problems.
Yeah.
Like the thing of like of Gucci, like, oh, you knew I was broken, so now why are you trying to do that? That's very toxic, you know? Like, so yeah, no. Like both need to be healed.
Comes with intention, that type of thing. If you consciously walk into it knowing that you could hurt that person, that's a problem. But then, as you were saying, you walked into before and then things were discovered in the relationship, and you're like, oh, damn, I really didn't know about that about myself. Then I don't think that's that bad. Then that's healing within the relationship.
That's as Lulu was saying. Going to a relationship to heal and then finding things when you're in a relationship that need healing are two different things.
Two different things
that people get mistaken.
The first one is very selfish.
The first one is selfish.
That's selfish. That's selfish. Not
Because
out.
It is selfish, and a lot of, and I don't know how to say this.
Okay.
It is selfish, right? And a lot of people don't actually realize how selfish it is. Like a lot of people don't genuinely realize like they're going to go and hurt another person. They really don't. I've seen it. A lot of people go into relationships like, nah, this man is gonna save me from the hell, and they don't realize that how selfish it is. Because they're just thinking about who they want to get out. Because
no one can save you. That's the flop. No one can save you. You can only save yourself. You can't heal for another person. You need to heal for yourself.
Because what's going to happen when that person is not there? All the work that you've built.
Then what?
They are the foundation. This is the work that you've built. Now when they leave, it's gone. I mean,
my mom had always said in a relationship, that a relationship is not two halves coming together. A relationship is two old people coming to have a vibe, coming to have a nice vibe, like like in the way of healthy relationships. Guys, you're gonna get triggered. Life is triggering, especially when you don't know you have the trauma. In a healthy relationship, you get triggered, you talk about it. In a healthy relationship, you get triggered on.
Look, I think this leads back into another conversation we should have. This should definitely go on the topic list. But dating when you're young and you don't know yourself and finding yourself in another person.
Yes, dating when you're young. That's toxic.
Like that because you're not getting trying to go into a relationship to get to know yourself in another person isn't gonna work. You're only gonna mirror them.
Yes. And another thing that I also want to talk about, if we ever do that episode, talking stages.
It's not about talking stages. We're still clueless with LMZ, but I definitely think we should get back into situationships, man.
Situationship, talking stages, like these are topics,
nonchalantness. That's
guys, confusion between situationships and talking stages.
Like these are topics that we'll definitely cover with people because we've covered them by ourselves. But it's perspective. Like people have different views on it. I definitely spoke to someone who's a serial talking stage person. When people who just do talking stages, no relationship.
Talking stages, wow. But heard
Guys, no, but not everything needs to be a relationship. Let me speak and try to defend these people. Being a serial situationship or a serial talking stage does not make you a bad person. You just don't need to be in a relationship.
No, but guys, you know how exhausting it is to tell every other person your favorite color.
No, guys.
Every day, what's your favorite color? What school do you go to? Bang. What do you want to be when you grow up? Bang. It gets boring.
No, guys,
love's zero down to me. I don't want a relationship. My hormones do, dog. No, I mean,
Lulu said dating young, guys. Honestly,
no, man.
Why you're getting into a relationship?
With raised because how I was raised, just being conscious, having a reason for everything in there is how people have come up to me. Now this is off topic, but it's the end of the episode anyway. But like people have come up to me like, I want to date you, I want a relationship, and then you ask them why? Why? A simple question: why? You want a relationship with me? That's madness. I feel like, as I was saying, I said it before, people fall in love with an image of you, not actually you. Because that to find out who you are, I think that image would be a little bit demolished. I don't think it would be exactly what they think they are. But when they come up to you, they're probably thinking, oh, she's looking nice. She's probably going to be nice to date. Dating is not.
Relationships is an 80-20. Even with friendships, everything. Any relationship, friendships, relationships, like a person can't be like everything that you want. Like that's impossible. Impossible.
What do you mean 80-20? Like explain.
Like 80-20, like they're everything that you want. Like 80% of them is everything that you want. Then there's the 20 where like there's certain things that are like that irks you about that person that you actually don't like about them. it can't be a thing of 100% that you love your person, you know? Like Zile, tell me, does your girlfriend have everything that you want? Like everything? Is she everything? Like 100% of the time? Is she your 100?
Nah, but listen, guys, that's the thing. I feel like I'm also one of the worst persons to ask this 80-20 question. I vibe with what I vibe with. I don't have expectations. I don't have, okay, this is what I'm looking for. Because when I go into a relationship, it's not necessarily with a goal. It's because I'm vibing with someone in that moment. So I vibe with my girlfriend. I love my girlfriend. Like, guys, there's nothing that she is or she's done that can.
No, guys, actually, their relationship is so beautiful.
It's so beautiful. Like,
I mean, not to them there, but one of the things that I love about their relationship, me personally, is they don't count on longevity. Now people we are still young. I'm like, oh, I want to get married to you, I want to have kids. They don't worry about that. They're not pinning their future on the past or the future. It's literally in present moment. And that's what I love about it. I mean,
yeah, just
it's not
present.
my wifey. Well, let's see how we're going to be in 5 years. I've never heard all of that. It's here, living in the now, and I feel freaking fresh kiss. And going back to what you said, I feel I don't have expectations, but I have a standard. No,
Yes.
no,
Yes.
There's a difference between expectations and standards.
Yeah.
Right? There's a huge difference.
And people mix that up. And they do. People mix that up. They do. Like, oh, expectations are so high. No, be who you want. Just like
There's a standard.
this is the standard you have to meet, man.
There's a standard.
Like, okay, in the terms of standard, me and my girlfriend have our own standards. Check in once a day, just to check in, just to talk. Making sure that the other person has eaten, done their daily chores, whatever, just communicating, that's a standard for me in any relationship. That's a standard.
I haven't found myself lasting for, or like I'm saying lasting and prevailing this relationship like my peers, né? And I'm saying like my peers is people who see relationship opportunity and jump on it. And when you're in that relationship, you don't even know why you're in that relationship. What this person is bringing to you, what you need to give to that person. Because like, even if you didn't have any standard or an expectation of the relationship, the other person did. And when you just jumped into it head first, it ain't like, do you know what you're getting into? Do you know who you're getting into it with? Dude. Nah.
It's a shame. As much you're saying you love my relationship, I feel so guilty. Guys, me and my girlfriend knew each other as friends 2 years before we dated. And I feel like that's
Be friends first, then.
No, but guys, I feel like we should close this off because we're gonna be rambling. This is gonna be 2 episodes. I don't know.
Yeah. Okay, guys. Thank you guys for having me. I really enjoyed being on your guys' podcast. Hope you enjoyed me as a guest. And you'll see more of me, hopefully, if they want me back.
We definitely want you back. You guys will be seeing a lot more. If time is willing, you'll be seeing a lot more of Nolwazi. As you can see, she's a great conversationalist. And on that, the topics that we get into, they flow and everything. So we've listed a bunch of other topics that we could be getting into with her, and you guys will be seeing, hopefully, a lot of that. But in this conversation, the majority of what we talked into the topic that we started with, I'm saying started with because I don't think we fully finished it to the end.
No, but listen, such a topic can't be fully finished. We literally just.
There's a lot, like, there's too much to get into. Like, we've just scratched the surface of it.
With more people, with you, me, other guests, I feel like this conversation can definitely be continued. A part 2, other things can be touched into. Majority of conversations we have, I don't think just a one time you're going to get to talk to it. Because as you said, perspectives are so in depth, they're so different. You're always going to see a new picture of things. So I feel like that's the beauty of it. So
like, I definitely in a part 2 maybe of this episode, not even just another episode, want to get more into healing, because guys, healing is one of those things where it'll never be covered in one episode.
It's not linear. Like, it's so different for everyone. That's why I was talking about what is your guys' definitions of healing and forgiveness and all those types of things, because it's different from everybody else.
As you say, I only got into my definition of forgiving. Healing with me, that's another thing. As you said, is there just a lot more to get into? That episode was spent for 3-4 hours. Who knows? But I said this specific one, We had a great time. We're going to be continuing this conversation on camera probably, but this is the end for you guys, and you'll be seeing a lot more from us hopefully. So this is it from Nolwazi and PCVZR, or Nolwazi as we PCVZR, since just not all of us, and we're going to be seeing you more or again. Yes.
So bye guys, and please do catch us every Monday and Thursday. Peace.
Bye.
Woo!